Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, fellas. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic day out there. Are those the things I'm supposed to say at the beginning of a video? I think so. I genuinely want you to have a great day, my friends. Light tanks. Light tanks. If there's one thing I say that I always, if there's a thing I always say is the one thing I say that I always say. If you want to get better at this game, get good at light tanks. Learn how to play light tanks, at least competently. It's going to teach you a lot of things. It's going to teach you how to stay in games when you're not necessarily the big bad. Don't have a lot of armor, don't have a lot of firepower generally. It's going to teach you a heck of a lot about the spotting game, about positioning, about repositioning, about supporting other people in the game to the best of your ability in a random. I get it, it's not always possible or effective, even when you're doing it well. But it's going to teach you all the mechanics of the game. The only thing maybe light tanks won't teach you is some of the heavy brawling spots, obviously angling and bouncing and that kind of thing. But as far as the more skill position, this is like a wide receiver. It's a skill position. This is not your blocker and tackler. It's not a defensive lineman or even a linebacker. Say like a medium would be kind of a linebacker or maybe even cornerback to some extent. This is your skill position, wide receiver kind of guy, your safety. This is the guy who makes a lot of decisions for the team. That could be the critical piece that wins or loses the game. Nona sent this to me. It's obviously the ELC even 90, top tier 8 light tank. So you got to give the standard caveats when you show the best tank in the class and tier. That yes, it's the best tank. But that being said, if you know that when you go in and you're analyzing the match and you play it correctly, well, good on you. You properly used that tank. You'll notice that he has 2 Blesks and an LPZ. He really is the big dog on this map in terms of stealth and spotting. The other ones are going to struggle a little bit, and his positioning is going to be hugely critical. He's also running, just for your SA, we've got Bounty Optics, the CBS, and LNES. Ooh, is this where I get to yell? Oh my gosh. I get to be the well actually guy right now. Well actually, Nona, put your CVS in the bonus slot. You'll get a little bonus. You know why I say that? Because I got caught out on one of my lights a couple weeks back. Somebody said, well actually, Guido, you... You know what though? I appreciate that. That's what this channel is for. I am not too good or too wise or too knowledgeable about this game to learn. I forget stuff, I relearn it, I learn new stuff all the time. So keep it coming. I'm just giving you guys some crap right there. But seriously though, move your CVS over to the bonus slot. All right, ELC even 90 off to the races. Here goes Nona. He also said when he sent me the video or the replay that it's nice when your backup gives you some backup. And we're going to see some good examples here. Everybody wants to be the hero of World of Tanks, and that's where some of the best games come from. But some of the games that I like the best are ones where kind of some generic teamwork or that's not the word I'm looking for, but auto teamwork or teamwork out of nothing or teamwork happens from nothing. There's a better word for that, which may come to me in a minute. But it's a random, so when teamwork actually generates itself, it's pretty cool. All right, let's just address this. This is a hugely aggressive move by the ELC even 90 pilot right here. And it's going to work out and give him dividends. What I will say about it is, after I have said it's extremely aggressive and very dangerous, if you assess the Blesk LPZ thing, he actually has more ability to do this than you would think with 3 other scouts in the game. However, break, let's just get going. There's also 3 scouts in the game, and I'm very surprised the enemy did not move up here. Look how close he is, guys. This is just the absolute camo of this thing. Now, I don't know if the Blesk ever had a line of sight. Maybe he did not, potentially, don't know. But in terms of where he is on the circle of spotting right there, holy cow, he's close. So Nona just sneaks right up here with an ELC even 90, and he starts lighting guys immediately on the sniper hill back here. And this is highly unusual in this game. You rarely see this situation. The other thing he's got going on for him is none of the enemy team came down the 1-2 line. I will throw that PSA right now. This is why you have to have somebody go down the 1-2 line. You cannot sit back on that hill and let them get close. And if you look at a game like this, you're the purples, and you go, wow, 3 lights, and you notice none of your guys go down the 1-2 line to keep them honest, not even on that little promontory right in front of Nona, you're in trouble. That sniper nest is not going to be usable, and you're just going to allow somebody to get in there. Now, more than likely, somebody or multiple somebodies on the enemy team has a general idea of what the heck is happening right now as they get hit. They know that something has moved up, and the usual suspect, the primary suspect, is going to be, oh crap, the ELC VN90 has snuck up on us, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. The best you can do is try to turtle up over there, try to stay out of being spotted. These guys don't do a great job of that. I said multiple somebodies understand what's going on, but maybe they don't. If you're a camping kind of guy or gal, you spend most of your game in spots like that right there. Sometimes you don't really know what's going on, right? Because you haven't played lights, you haven't been forward in the game, you haven't learned enough about how the game and the positioning works. You're used to just sitting in the back. Let's change gears and talk about the backup. While I was watching this the first time, I said, as I was considering somebody has to know what's going on, I figure someone's going to make a move here and try to peel him out of here, or at least figure out what's going on. Well, the object is making a move. That is good. His choice of moves is bad. I don't know why, as they're getting hit, he would dive down into that open spot right there, unless he thought maybe the ELC was on the promontory right here in front of him, this area right here. But I don't know, very strange. I'd have gone all the way around and try to sneak down the purple/red line here and try to figure it out. But he chooses this. And of course, the danger, several of this position is, one, somebody does something like that. The more common one would be what I just said. Somebody comes down here and starts looking out these bushes. Now, the ELC is going to absolutely outspot them. Nobody's going to see on the ELC at that range, and he's probably going to see anything other than maybe another ELC popping up into these bushes. And with a CVS and based on the movement stuff giving you a bonus, he might even see an ELC, depending on how the guy's camo is. The other part is, though, you would come barreling down this edge, because if I'm back there, I know somebody's in this damn bush line right here. So I'm going to have to take a chance, come down here, come around this corner, and then hug this line right here and see if I can't either proxy spot a guy in this part, and if he's further over on this side, I may have to come to here and do a little popination, although I am going to expose myself. This bush line here is useful for that if you're coming from the north and you go by and you don't spot the guy, get into this bush line and do a little pops here. You can knock some of these trees down as well. That will let them know you're setting up a nest or camouflage for yourself, but at least you might not be seen immediately when you pop up and over. But all of those things are to find out if, holy cow, where can I maybe peel or potentially push this ELC out of a position that's absolutely wrecking our team. But that is a lot to say that this guy made a huge mistake, and I'm watching this happen. My first watch, I'm like, oh, he is going to get spotted here. He's getting close. All right, look at this. Now, let's talk about this real quick. Most of you know this, but this green line, and you should have all of these lines turned on. It is in the settings. So the outside line is the draw range for 500 meters. The inside line, his happens to be 2. You may have 2 more line, or 1 more line right here, but his are at the same place, which is the maximum spotting range of 445. So you/Nona will not spot anything out here themselves. All right? Hopefully you're seeing yep, okay, the cursor's there now. You will not spot anything out there yourselves, but that will be drawn if somebody else sees it. All right? This inside line is what I'm more important at this point. This is your proxy line. You are auto-spotted if you're that close. And we've done some testing on this, talked about it a couple times on the channel. It's about half of the cursor, or half of the marker. When the marker splits in half on this line, that is when you will be spotted. Both of you, right? The 16 ant will auto-spot the ELC. The ELC already sees the 16, but if he wasn't spotted at the moment, he will auto-spot him. So what you're watching for is that 416 getting closer and closer to your green line there, and you may have to bail out, but check it out, he got tracked. And he is Dunzo, Showak. Oh, he gets moving first before he dies. Getting closer, getting closer. Notice Nona was thinking about it. He's like, I'm going to have to get out of here, and then he dies. Nona's something to think about right here while you're doing this. Because guys will be coming from the north, maybe spin your tank around, and then it's a straight runaway as opposed to a backup, or maybe a backup and a turn. Just something to think about. It's harder to control that sometimes. Driving backwards is not so easy. So the guys are kind of moving around. Look at this. We got 2,980. We created a nice little advantage for our team. Looks like our heavies are doing okay so far. And we have a number of snippers back here. An Udez that's moved up, an RHM, a Su-130, a Scorpion G down here. Nice that they can all sit in these bushes and they get free reign to shoot. They might get some spotting from the lights in the middle. And then check this out. Here comes the LKPZ. Now, he probably knows, right? In general, I find light tank players to be better overall. That's a very, very large generalization, especially in the spotting slash positioning and understanding the lanes of sight and all those kinds of things. They figure these things out, so you do have to watch for the other light tanks starting to figure out where you might be. There's only so many places you can be, to be quite honest, on most maps in a light tank when you're getting some kind of spotting situation. I bet anything that northwest corner is clicking and screaming about somebody is spotting them, and they need to get somebody in the middle. And if the purple team even just looks at the map, they know something's really bad going on because the 1-2 line is well uncovered. All right, so the LPZ starts to come in there, and a little bit late, I thought here, Nona. I think what I'd have been doing is backing through these bushes, or maybe, I don't know, I might have even dove off by now, to be honest. Nona takes a shot. Doesn't get the kill, unfortunately. Eats a shot right there. But he does have the LPZ. Nomad takes another hit, so Nomad paid for that one, as did the Indian Panzer. And now we got to peel this guy out, so that's not the greatest situation. I don't know. You know, I went back and forth on this. It should have been a kill. It just didn't. It didn't pan. That's a bummer. It was angled right there. Stuff happens. There you go. If you left before you took that shot, you at least would have your hit points still. So I think that was the better move. You might have been able to back through the bushes a bit, but he was coming hard, so he knew you were in here somewhere. He might even come up and over. You can fall back to those bushes there. You did have a Scorpion G to help you, so he probably would have nuked him as he came up and over. So really, I think so far only real big mistake you made was hanging in there a little bit too long. He did get tracked, and I was hopeful that the same thing would happen to him that the 416 had happened, but that did not work out. So we're going to come up here and try to spot this dude. There he goes. All right, so he comes up. Somebody else spotted him, so I think one of the guys, maybe the 59, it wasn't you from what I can tell. The LPZ is not a fantastically stealthy tank. All right, I agreed with you holding on to your shells while the LPZ was still a factor. I would have absolutely hit C and reloaded right here. I don't know if you forgot or if you had another plan in your brain or whatever, but you got plenty of time here. You're just spotting, so hit C, reload your 3 shells. You'll reload 1, but you'll have 3 total. And then you can start working in here and figuring out how to break up the rest of this nest here. There can't be too many, I would say. In fact, based on what's lit and where they're lit, unless one of the Blesks has worked their way back already, it's only a T-28 and maybe an Arty up in here. This is where you would love to have the 3 shells. Really nice job overall, though. The Scorpion's coming up behind you. I didn't notice that in the first watch through because this surprised me. He kind of comes up and then the T-28 gets spotted. You maybe could have popped out, but you'd have paid for that. I don't think he's got the alpha to kill you unless he's got an HE round, but he would knock you down to 1 shot and easily splash by the Arty as well. Your Arty takes a stab. Here comes the Blesk through the middle. You notice that? That's good. I think I'd have snapped that first one off knowing he was going for the rocks there. But we all miss those. That's not an easy shot. It's not a great dispersion on this little tank. We hit C to reload. And we're going to make a move. We're nice and low right here. We are going to get through here. We do get spotted just the top of our tank. I think I'd have stopped once I lit him because there's no way I get through without being seen. Then once he fired, I'd have continued to put one of the buildings between me and him, not this destructible one. I think he had time to make it before he reloads. There is a possibility that somebody may shoot you from across the map, so you may have been trying to cover up against the Scorp. He knocks the building down, which gives you an opportunity to run. Well, it doesn't give you an opportunity, it kind of forces your hand. The enemy team is collapsing around you, but you still got that teamwork thing going on. So like I said at the beginning, it's one of these cool games where you get a little bit of the teamwork and a little bit of the individual heroism going on. The Arty decides to just go for it, take a stab at you, maybe get some hit points. You notice that he shoots. You're going to come out. You're well inside his reload. There's no way he's going to reload in time before you put those 3 shells. There's the strength of the ELC EVA 90. Absolutely brutal little autoloader, especially if you can hit and pin with all of them for the tier. For the tier and size of the tank, this thing just hits extremely hard. And we end up with 5,348 damage, 390 assists, and really awesome game, man. I like that. Maybe you can chuck it down in the comments down there. Some of your thought process at the beginning, was I correct? And that you looked at it and went, well, I think I can take this chance based on what I'm seeing on the enemy team. And, that's one of those high-risk, high-reward moves right there. Could have easily been countered early by maybe just a Blesk trying to get in there. I wouldn't be surprised if a Blesk tried to get into those bushes from that side, because that's generally a spot that the north side is able to use and not the south side, at least early in the game like that. And maybe you noticed a couple of them get spotted. I didn't pay close attention to that. Sometimes you start moving in a direction and you see what's being spotted and where things are, early lights are, and you can use that information to inform your next move. I'm going to keep going. I just saw 2 Blesks or whatever. I'm going to keep trying to get into this little bush. If you get caught out in it, you're kind of in trouble, especially if they just sent a couple down the 1-2 line. It's not like you could dive into the 1-2 line and survive that very easily against a couple mediums. So as it was a great move and worked out really nicely. But it's a pixel tank game, guys. I do this all the time. Do it on stream. Do it while I'm playing solo. Sometimes I just say, let me just see if this works. And you know what? A lot of times it does not, especially if it's a very silly move. But it's a pixel tank game, man. Go out and have fun. Try new things. See what kind of interesting results you can get out of taking chances. That is all I've got. Nona, thanks for sending that in. You guys have a great one. We will see you.